You've been doing this wrong your whole life. And I don't mean that in a dramatic, clickbaity way. I mean it literally. Every single time you've stood in front of your stove, grabbed whatever fat was closest, and tossed it in the pan without thinking, you've probably been making your food worse. Not by a little, by a lot. And the crazy part is, nobody ever actually sat you down and explained what's happening inside that pan. So that's what we're doing today, because once you understand the real science behind butter and oil, you're not just going to cook better, you're going to cook smarter, and you're going to save yourself from ever burning another pat of butter again. Trust me, by the end of this, you're going to see your kitchen completely differently. Let me start with something that might surprise you. We don't actually need fat to cook food. You could throw an egg in a bone-dry pan right now, and technically it would cook. It would also be a disaster, but it would cook. So the fact that humans have been reaching for fat in the kitchen for literally thousands of years means there's something really important going on here. Three things, actually. Fat adds flavor. Fat carries heat from the pan into your food, and fat keeps your food from welding itself to the metal underneath. That's the whole job, and here's where it gets interesting. Butter and oil both do all three of those things, but they do them in completely different ways once you understand why everything changes. So here's the thing most people don't realize. Butter and oil are mostly made of the same stuff. Fat molecules called triglycerides. That's the basic building block, but that's where the similarity ends. Refined cooking oils, the stuff in those big clear bottles like vegetable oil or canola, are almost pure fat and nothing else. Butter is a whole different animal. Butter has the fat, yeah, but it also has water, proteins, sugars, enzymes, and these little compounds called free fatty acids. All that extra stuff is exactly what makes butter taste like butter and oil taste like pretty much nothing. It's also why butter behaves so differently the second it hits a hot pan. And before we go any further, there's one detail I need you to lock in, because it'll make everything else click. Not all oils are created equal. The unrefined ones, like extra virgin olive oil or real sesame oil, the stuff that still has color and smell, those have more of that extra stuff in them. So they actually act more like butter when you cook. And then you've got ghee and clarified butter, which is basically butter with all that extra stuff stripped out. Those act more like refined oil. So in your head, it's less butter versus oil and more like a spectrum, flavor-packed on one end, neutral and high heat on the other. Keep that in mind because it's about to matter. Alright, let's talk about flavor first, because this one's the most obvious. Those extra compounds in butter, a bunch of them are aromatic, which means when they heat up, they release these warm, nutty, almost caramel-like molecules into the air and into your food. That's why food cooked in butter just smells unreasonably good. It's also probably why your grandma's cooking beat yours. Sorry. Refined oils, on the other hand, basically have no flavor to contribute. They're a blank canvas. And sometimes that's exactly what you want. If you're making a perfect omelette and you want the eggs to actually taste like eggs, neutral oil is the move. But if you want richness, depth, that thing that makes people say, wait, why does this taste so good? Butter wins every single time. Now here's where a ton of people mess up without even realizing it. Heat, butter and oil are both great at transferring heat. That's their job. But somewhere between 300 and 350 degrees Fahrenheit, butter starts to fall apart. All those proteins and sugars and free fatty acids we just talked about. They start breaking down, they produce smoke, they create compounds that taste bitter and honestly aren't doing your body any favors. That temperature is called the smoke point, and butter's smoke point is low, so if you're cranking your stove to high and throwing butter in, you're literally burning it before your food even touches the pan. You've smelled it. That sharp, acrid, somebody call the fire department smell. That's butter screaming at you. Oil is a different story, because refined oils don't have all that extra stuff. They can handle serious heat. Some refined oils have smoke points over 500 degrees. That's a massive gap. And that gap is the difference between a soft, pale egg and one with those crispy, golden, lacy edges that look like something out of a food magazine. Ever wondered why Chinese takeout stir-fry tastes the way it does and yours just doesn't? A big part of it is they're cooking at insane temperatures with oil that can take the heat. Butter can't do that. It just can't. So if you want crispy, you want oil. End of story. Okay, here's the one that genuinely blew my mind when I first learned it. Sticking. Both butter and oil help keep food from fusing to your pan, but butter is actually better at it. And the reason is weirdly beautiful. Here's what's happening. Most of the food you cook, eggs, chicken, veggies, is mostly water. And water and fat hate each other. You've seen it. Pour oil in water. It just floats on top like it's too cool to mingle. So when you drop an egg into hot oil, the egg and the oil are actually slightly repelling each other. That leaves barely any oil between your food and the metal of the pan, which is why stuff sticks. The protein in the egg reaches through that thin layer and grabs the pan like a magnet. Butter, though, has a secret weapon. It contains a compound called lecithin. And lecithin is this overachiever of a molecule. One end of it loves water, the other end loves fat, so it acts like a tiny bridge, holding the watery egg and the fatty butter in close contact, which means the butter actually forms a thick, protective coat around your food. Your egg never really touches the pan. That's why scrambled eggs made in butter come out like clouds, and eggs made in oil sometimes feel like you're fighting for your life with a spatula. So if sticking is your nightmare, butter is genuinely your best friend. Now I want to pause and hit something I know a lot of you are thinking about. The health question. Because if you're over 40, you grew up being told butter would give you a heart attack and margarine and vegetable oil were the heroes. Then somewhere along the way, the story flipped, and suddenly people are putting butter in their coffee and swearing off seed oils. So what's actually true? Here's my honest answer, and I have to be careful here because I'm not your doctor, and this isn't medical advice. The current research on saturated fat is genuinely debated. Real, credentialed scientists are still arguing about how big a deal it is. What pretty much everyone agrees on is that extremes are bad. A pound of butter a day, probably not great. A diet of nothing but ultra-processed oils, probably also not great. The boring but honest answer is everything in moderation. If you have real concerns about your cholesterol or heart, please talk to your doctor. They have your actual numbers. I don't. But for most people cooking dinner on a Tuesday night, this is not the thing to lose sleep over. Okay, now the good part. Let's actually use all this. Scrambled eggs, soft and creamy, low heat, butter, better flavor, better non-stick, and you don't need high heat anyway. Over easy eggs with those crispy lacy edges you see on Instagram, that's oil. You need the heat, and butter will burn before you get there. Searing a steak? Start with oil to get that beautiful crust, and then, this is the pro move, add a knob of butter at the very end and spoon it over the meat. You get the sear from the oil and the flavor from the butter, and now you know exactly why it works. Delicate fish? Butter, because the lecithin keeps it from sticking and falling apart. Stir-frying veggies at screaming high heat? Oil, every single time. And if you're still not sure, here's the move that honestly solves most problems. Use both. Seriously. Splash a little oil in the pan first, then drop in a pat of butter. You get the flavor of butter, that beautiful non-stick effect, and here's the clever part. Mixing oil with butter doesn't raise butter's smoke point, but it dilutes the stuff that burns first, so you can push the heat a little higher without your butter turning black and tasting like regret. Professional cooks do this constantly. Next time you make eggs, try it. Little oil, pat of butter, medium heat. You'll never look back. So let me bring this all home, because I know it's a lot. There's no universal answer to butter versus oil. I know not the clean one-liner you wanted, but the truth is better than that. It depends on what you're cooking, how hot you're cooking it, and what kind of flavor you're chasing. Butter gives you flavor, gives you non-stick, but it burns easily. Oil gives you high heat, gives you crispiness, but it doesn't bring much personality to the party. The real shift happens when you stop treating them like rivals and start treating them like tools. A good cook doesn't pick a team. A good cook picks the right one for the right moment. And honestly, the bigger lesson here goes way beyond your frying pan. So much of the food advice floating around is way too black and white. Butter bad, oil good, carbs will kill you, fat will save you, eggs are evil, eggs are miracles. The real science is almost always more nuanced, and once you start understanding the why instead of just memorizing rules, cooking stops being stressful. You stop being scared of your stove, you start experimenting. You start making food that actually tastes like something you'd pay for in a restaurant, and that's when cooking gets fun. So the next time you're standing in front of your pan, butter in one hand, oil in the other, you won't be guessing, you'll be thinking about heat. You'll be thinking about flavor. You'll be thinking about whether that egg is going to slide out clean or leave half of itself behind, and you'll pick right every single time. That's a tiny skill that pays off every single day for the rest of your life, because we all eat, and we all deserve food that tastes a little better. If this changed the way you think about something as simple as the fat in your pan, hit that subscribe button. Because I break down the real science behind the everyday food and health stuff we all do on autopilot. No hype, no miracle cures, no weird supplements, just honest, useful information that actually makes your life better. New videos every week. I genuinely love to have you along for the ride. And hey, next time you cook an egg, think of me, I'll be cooking mine too.